I think there was a lot of involvement with the withdraw your money last weekend. I've been reading online about that, so that's really good. There's a really great website, which the name escapes me at the moment, but you can kind of Google it, and there's a search engine to find a local bank that's near you. So I think a lot of people in this community want to take pragmatic action, real things that can be done right now, and this is a great meeting place, but there's a lot to be done. So move to amend.org to amend the Constitution, to overwrite the things that happened on Citizens United, and then this website, the search engine for local banks and credit unions is a really good way if you feel like you're not being heard, if you feel like your money is not your own, it's being taken away, and so search for that. Search around for local banks. Here we have Islanders in Whidbey, and off island there's just so many that you might not have heard of. So that's a good way to get involved with that. So anyway, there's real things that you can do right now, if no matter who you are and what you feel like. Find your issue and go for it. So thanks.
Hi, I'm Janai Kelly, and I'm here in our little Occupy Wall Street effort in Friday Harbor, and I'm very excited to be an American when we do things like this. I want to be a part of an effort to limit or stop the ability of corporations to hurt our country, take away their ability to lobby Congress, and yeah, that's about all I have right now.
Okay. Alright, my name's Scott, and I really believe that the major thing we need to do is overturn Citizens United. It enables far too much power into too few people's hands. We need to get the money out of politics. There are a lot of problems. You'll hear many of those discussed at Occupy places all over the world, but without getting the money out, I don't see anything changing. So that's what we need to do.
Friday Harbor Post Office is possibly under attack. It is being considered. Darrell Issa has a bill, 2309, which we have called the Postal Destruction Act. That bill would lay off at least 120,000 workers, many of them veterans, and we cannot let this happen. He is the chairman of the House Subcommittee. There's another bill, H.R. 1351. That's in Congress. This alleviates the overpayment that the Postal Service is currently putting in to its retiree benefits and saves the Postal Service as we know it. Darrell Issa is blocking that to come up for a vote in Congress, even though it has 229 co-sponsors, many of them Republicans. This is a bipartisan thing, and Darrell Issa is blocking it. Since 2006, the Postal Service has been mandated by Congress to pre-fund 75 years of retiree health care costs and benefits out of their profits. This has caused the Postal Service to lose millions of dollars every year, hundreds of millions of dollars every year since '06. If you take away that horrible pre-funding requirement, the Postal Service has not lost money since 1970. It takes no tax dollars in. And in fact, in the last 3 years, without that requirement, it has made a profit of $600 million. It needs to be able to get out from under the shackles of corporate regulations. Although it takes in no corporate money, it has to abide by, not corporate, sorry, congressional, sorry, same thing, congressional regulations.
Isn't it though?
Even though it takes in no federal tax dollars, no tax dollars at all support this Postal Service, we have to abide by the rules and regulations that Congress sets. It's not fair when they're going to screw us like this.
I support Scott in his statement regarding the post office because he's actually 100% right, and that congressman who's doing this ought to be ashamed of himself, he ought to resign, and he ought to go home and hide in bed.
It needs to be said I think it needs to be said very strongly that a big reason that a lot of people are out here is because there's too much corporate influence on our government. It's been taken over by lobbyists and by campaign donations. I think that's the big problem with our government right now. So if you want to be angry at government, be angry for the real reasons.
I'm a retiree up here on the island, and I supplement my retirement pay by selling on eBay, so if the post office left, I'd be out of business. I'd probably have to move.
They're getting better.
When is more than just going to be so angry that we're going to take to the street?
Right.
And we're going to actually express and participate in our democracy that feels like it's been captured and kidnapped from us.
Well, thank God it's happening now.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It was Occupy Wall Street, where I said, yes, actually I thought it was going to be Stop the Machine, you know, in DC. That's what I originally was going to really push and try and join. But they said, fine. Occupy is part of us too. So yeah, that was it. That was the fun. Thank God for Occupy Wall Street. Keep in mind January 21st. It's the anniversary of Citizens United, and we're working on getting a permit so that we can actually parade the streets. January 21st, anniversary of Citizens United.
40-mile-an-hour winds there.
So I had to pull over and park.
Thank you. That's a wonderful gesture. We appreciate it.
Again, I saw you at a meeting on Saturday.
Campaign finance reform now. Thank you.
Yeah.
A short statement. Here we are live in Friday Harbor, where a small group of hale, hearty, and mostly old individuals is standing in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in much more Valley Forge style conditions in Boston and New York and other places. We're standing in solidarity with the only two people who were seriously injured by Oakland police, both Iraq veterans. We're standing in support of issues like the signs you see around you about ending corporate personhood. In recent years, the Supreme Court has, mind you, it wasn't any act of Congress that did this, it wasn't anything that the President signed, a 5-4 decision by the Supreme Court essentially rendered elections all about not the people who vote in them, but the people who fund them. Last year, Coke and Pepsi poured $12 million into a referendum that would have put a 2-cent tax in the state of Washington on Kansas soda pop. That caused that referendum to be defeated and took much needed money out of Washington schools and other places that needed the revenue. Standing in solidarity with Occupy Wall Street. Thanks.
What I think is really happening is that the entire world is having an awakening. And one of the main reasons for that we're not talking about a lot is how much information through all our gadgetry can get to so many people. And that's why right now I think most people understand that politics is theater and the game is rigged so that, you know, the real rich keep getting richer. And we want that to stop. One way or another, it's going to stop. The greatest encouragement I have is I talk to people who are not very radical and aren't trying to burn the system down and have ideas about different ways to produce goods at home and decentralize. And all the information I'm getting is very creative, intelligent, and it's a polyvocal world. There's going to be a lot of answers. But the one problem is the rich are too rich and the poor are too poor.
This gentleman here may be blind, but he can see what's going on in America.
All right, Rita. You'll be on, YouTube.
And so will you.
Rita, do you know Tom Muncie?
Right?